I would take the rest of your life off for the next 2 weeks and just enjoy the football that is about to be played. This bracket is unbelievable. Some of the matchups we could get, some of the matchups we already have. So without further ado, our first matchup is Germany-Paraguay. I don't really think Paraguay stands a chance in that game. Germany's too good. We're going to take Germany there. France-Sweden. I just don't think Sweden can hang with France. I think this could be like a 4-2 type of game. But France at the end of the day beats Sweden, and that's going to be the easiest matchup France has throughout this tournament. South Africa, Canada. Canada is a very good team at beating teams that they are better than. So we are going to take Canada. Netherlands, Morocco is a phenomenal first round game. I've been a little unimpressed with Morocco so far. I've been impressed with the Netherlands. They're both two very balanced teams. They can attack and defend very well. And because of that, I think Netherlands has this one. Germany is a team that is able to sit back and defend well. I think they've proven that they can do that. I just don't know if they have enough quality to get goals to keep up with France. I think the thing about France is they can score goals at will whenever they want. If they are down in a game late, I still think that they can score the goals and get themselves back into these games. They're too talented. Their defense has shown some weaknesses. Can Germany exploit that? I think they can, but it's just not going to be enough. We're going to take France. Canada, Netherlands. I don't think Canada stands a chance in this game. This actually will remind me a lot of the 2022 World Cup round of 16 game between the Netherlands and the U.S., where the Netherlands won 3-1. I think it's going to be the same type of game. We're going to take the Netherlands over Canada. And now we have the quarterfinal for this section. Unbelievable. France versus Netherlands. The thing I will point out here is France has not been a good European team. They've been like decent, but they haven't done well in the Nations League and they haven't done well in Euros. And they are looking at 3 straight European opponents here in this World Cup. And this is a really, really good team that can defend well. But again, I just think France has too much. If France go on to win this World Cup, I believe that they will be the best team ever because the run that they are going to have to go to do this is going to be extremely difficult. If there's a team that can do it, it's definitely France without a doubt. Now on to the bottom part, Portugal, Croatia. I've just been so unimpressed by Portugal so far. The thing that really concerned me last night was their game against Colombia. They knew that if they won, they would win the group and get a better situation than coming in second. If they lost, they still would have finished in second. A tie and loss didn't mean anything different for them. And they just played with no urgency. It didn't look like they actually cared. And the big thing for me is a lot of these world-class players on this team, it looks like they're looking for Ronaldo at all times, even when the better options are there to pass to someone else or to even score themselves or shoot themselves. This Croatia team has looked better. They didn't look that good against England. Croatia's a World Cup team, and I think I've just been so unimpressed with Portugal. This is going to be the end for them right here in the round of 32. Spain versus Austria. This game kind of reminds me of the Austria-Argentina game from the group stage a couple weeks ago, I guess now. Austria hung in that game very well. They just got beat by Messi at the end 2-0. They had some good chances. Austria's a very good team. Again, this opposition, though, might be a little too much for them. And I think Spain do get by. Spain haven't conceded a goal yet. USA Bosnia. I've talked a lot about the US in other videos on my channel, so check that out. I won't jump into it much, but I do think they can beat Bosnia. Interesting thing here, again, I've talked about it in the past. Belgium, I think, very well beats the USA, but I don't think Belgium gets by Senegal. Belgium just haven't been the best so far during this World Cup. They had a good performance against New Zealand, but it was New Zealand, so I do think Senegal win that game. Round of 16 here, Croatia, Spain. I think that's the end of the road for Croatia. We will put Spain by. USA, Senegal. I think the USA proved that they can beat Senegal. They had 2 kind of mistakes that led to goals in their international friendly against them before the World Cup. But I think at the end of the day, USA looked great in that game. And again, I talked about this in my previous video. I don't think USA stands a chance against Spain. I think they can beat certain teams and hang with certain teams, but Spain demand the ball. And when the US want the ball, they're vulnerable to counterattacks, and Lamine Yamal would just eat them up in this game. So I don't think the US stand a chance in that game, but a good quarterfinal run for the USA. Now to this part of the bracket, and this one could end up being a mess, man. Brazil, Japan, what a game. I have no idea who I'm going to pick here. Japan likes to counter. They're a very, very well organized team, very good defensively. I worry about Brazil's fullbacks, especially on a counterattack, but I do think Brazil have enough to get the job done here. Ivory Coast, Norway, what a game this is going to be. I'm rooting for the Ivory Coast here because I have the Amad Diallo card in my ultimate team, and it has been a great card for me. And every time they continue on in the tournament, he gets upgrades in EAFC 26. I'm talking about ultimate team. So I will be rooting for Ivory Coast, but they won't win this game, I don't think. I think Norway's too good. They rested their players. They're ready for that game. Mexico Ecuador is a very, very good matchup. It's in Mexico, which is an important thing to point out. This looks like a 0-0 game that's going to go to penalties. So at the end of the day, if it's 0-0, kind of a cagey match, I give the edge to the home field team in Mexico. England Congo is another interesting game. I'm not going to count out Congo here. England now have had trouble against teams that have sat back against them, Ghana and Panama. They did finally break through Panama, but Congo's better than Panama, and Congo's a better counter-attacking team than Panama was. I do think England have enough to get through, though. Up here, this Brazil-Norway, what a matchup here. I've been very unimpressed by Brazil so far. Do they have enough to get through these games, though? That's the question. And Norway's very good. I think the key here is Gabriel versus Haaland again. The matchup we've seen time and time again in the Premier League. We would get it here in this matchup. And I think Gabriel is good enough and in Haaland's head enough to throw him off. And I think that will be the deciding factor, is that even if Haaland's able to score, it's going to be enough just defensively where someone else on Norway is going to have to step up, and I don't think they have it versus I think Brazil have the other people that are going to be there to step up. Then we have Mexico versus England. This is my game here because I pointed this out from the start of this tournament. This game's in Mexico. Mexico has played all their games in Mexico up to this point. England have not even stepped foot in that country yet. They've been in the U.S., all over the U.S., for the last couple weeks. I mean, up north in Dallas, I think their base is in the middle in Kansas City, and now they're going to go to Atlanta, and then on 4 days rest, I guess it's 3 days rest, to the altitude of Mexico City, to that environment. It is going to be a shock for them, and I think Mexico do beat England in that game. I think it's a really tough draw for England to be forced into that situation. A little unfair, if you ask me. But I do think Mexico win. And then I believe this game's in Miami. This game would be a great game. I don't think Brazil have what it takes this tournament. So when you look at these matchups, I think they will lose one of them. I think Mexico will be riding the high of this tournament, being kind of like the home field favorite. If you watch any Mexico games, you'll notice that even when they're playing the games in the U.S., it's all Mexican fans. This could be a little different with Brazilian fans. There's a lot of Brazilian fans in the U.S. as well. But I do think Mexico have been on quite a run here, and I think they get to the semifinals. Kind of a crazy statement. I just think when I look at this, I think like if you compound the matchups here for Brazil, they will lose one of these matchups. I think it could come earlier, it could come later. I'm just going to say that it's to Mexico here. Final little section, and it is probably the easiest one. We have our defending champions, Argentina, taking on the darlings of this tournament, Cape Verde. Sorry, we're going to take Argentina. A lot of people are counting out Australia. I think they beat Egypt. I think they're a very good team, and Egypt could be coming into a trap here, and we will get a rematch of this round of 16 game from the last World Cup. Switzerland, Algeria, very good game. Don't count out Algeria, but Switzerland have proven to me now in the last couple games that they are on an upward trajectory, and they look pretty good, so we're taking Switzerland here. Colombia, Ghana. Colombia have been absolutely amazing in this tournament. We're going to take them. Australia, Argentina. Again, I think Argentina are just too much here. They've been so good in this tournament. They look like the favorites in my opinion. But they could end up playing Colombia. And this Switzerland-Colombia game is another really, really good matchup, man. You're going to want to watch all these matchups. It's going to be a fun couple of weeks. What a game this is going to be. Colombia will have the home field support. We're going to take them. And what a matchup here. Believe this is the rematch of the Copa America from a couple of years ago. The final, Argentina-Colombia. What a game. I think honestly, this is a game that Argentina is not going to want to see. They're not going to want to see this game. And I am going to take Argentina because I think they're the better team. And that ends up with this amazing semifinal of Mexico, Argentina, and France, Spain. If France are to get to here, I talked about them playing all these European opponents. I think here is a situation where they actually will be, if they are to get to this point, I think they could actually dominate this game and destroy Spain, especially since I haven't been that impressed with Spain in this tournament so far. There's a lot of teams I haven't been impressed with who I have going far, and that can just lead to a lot of upsets. We could honestly get an insane semifinal here of, here I have Mexico. We could get Mexico, Colombia, or even Colombia versus Norway or Colombia versus Japan. And on this side, we could have like the Netherlands versus Heck, even the USA, if Spain were to fall a game here, this could be an interesting tournament here. We could have a first time winner. Although now that I say that though, we are gonna go with France and we are gonna go with Argentina because I think these are the two best teams in the world by far. We're gonna have our trilogy fight here in the final. Of course, I'm referring to 2018. These two teams played in the round of 16 in an amazing matchup where France won 4-3. Benjamin Pavard's crazy goal. Then we have the 2022 the the century game of football ever, the best game ever between France and Argentina, where Argentina won in the final. And now I think we're gonna have it again. I think France and Mbappe now have enough pieces around him to get the job done this time. And I think the final trilogy matchup goes to France. Kind of basic. What do you think? I think this tournament could go any which way. I just kind of took the basic route here. There's some good games to point out here. We are taking France. Let me know what you think. Who do you have winning it? Thanks for watching. Peace out.